few months ago, I met the artistic director of a quirky ballet company named Pink Tutu Ballet, and called up the artistic director, Mary Alawash, and asked her if she would like to do a performance for the city of Las Vegas. She said yes, and I shared my dream with her, and she said, by the way, my husband's an artist. So he did all of these fine prints for you on the stage today. His name is Christin Alawash. This performance tonight is kind of global. Christian is Canadian. The music that you're hearing tonight is original compositions for this ballet, studied at Juilliard and the Moscow Conservatory. We have dancers here tonight from New York City who dance at Lincoln Center. So I'm very proud to bring this performance here to Las Vegas. Who knew that we could have this here? And it's quite a treat for all of us tonight to be able to hear this and see this. I'd like to welcome to the stage now Mary Alawash. Mary, can you come out for me, please? Hello. I'm going to turn it over to Mary Alawash, and she will introduce tonight's performance. Thank you, Mary.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you to this evening's performance from the Pink Tutu Ballet, Shinka, the Life Cycle of a Dancer. Today, we're going to embark on an odyssey with Joanna, who's our principal dancer, as we go through her entire life as a dancer, from her first class to her big role, all the way to the end of her career where she's choreographing. Today would not be possible without the help of our sponsors, the spa at Trump, Couture Bride, the Las Vegas Ballet School, and the Boiler Room, where we'll be having our after party tonight. Everybody who's here is welcome. It's at 9 p.m. at the Boiler Room at Mandalay Bay. It is my privilege to now hand over the mic to Miss Nevada, United States. Miss Brittany Cherie Williams was such an integral part in this production. She's helped us choreograph the Love Duet, and she's been an integral part in all the intensives we did just with the wonderful children you just saw. So it's my privilege to take you to
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. She said my name is Brittany Williams. I am the reigning Miss Nevada, United States, just for about 2 more weeks. Not much time left, but I'm hanging on as much as I can. When I met Mary, maybe a couple of months ago, she told me about this event, and I immediately jumped on the opportunity to be a part of it. While I love Las Vegas and the excitement and all the fun and the partying that we get to do sometimes, we also have a lot of culture here. We have so many family fun things that are out there, and most people don't always know about it. So I think it's really important that you all are here and we all are doing stuff like this, because there are so many things that we have to offer in this city. And part of the reason that I love it so much. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Mary, for inviting me to be a part of this. I was a dancer long ago, back in my day. So I have an appreciation for the art of dance, ballet. But then she'd asked me to help choreograph. And I'm like, you've never done that before, but I'll try it. I'm always down for a challenge. So I jumped on that opportunity, and I definitely worked a few muscles of the brain that I didn't know that I had, but I have that creative side apparently, so that was a nice surprise for me. It was just a pleasure to work with all these young ladies and a couple of gentlemen, I guess we have back there too. And a couple of the meetings that we had, I was able to share a little bit with the young ladies particularly. And that was about loving themselves, being beautiful, being fabulous just as they are. And I didn't realize that so much of the theme of this evening was going to be that, so it just makes so much sense. And I think that it's so important for us as young women, old women, men, everybody in between. You know, the world's gonna tell us that we're supposed to be one thing or the other. They're gonna make us feel like we're not good enough. And no matter what, we are good enough. No matter if you're wearing a crown or not, no matter what size your shoes are, your jeans are, whatever, we're all beautiful in our own way, and we need to know, we need to appreciate those things, and we also need to help uplift one another as well. That was one of my missions as Miss United States, or Miss Nevada United States, and that's just something that I find that's very important for us to do on a day-to-day basis, whether you're dressed up, dressed down, and no matter what. So, you're not really here to see me, you're here to see some dancing, and I want to see some dancing too. So, I will bid you adieu, and I would love to see you after the show. Thank you very much.
Where dips the rocky highland of sleuthwood in the lake, there lies a leafy island where flapping herons wake. The drowsy water rats, there we've hid our fairy vats, full of berries and the reddest stolen cherries. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Where the wave of moonlight glosses the dim gray sands with light, far off by furthest rosses, we foot it all at night. Weaving golden dances, mingling hands and mingling glances, till the moon has taken flight. To and fro we leap and chase the frothy baubles, while the world is full of troubles, and anxious in its sleep. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand.
How's it going? I hope you're enjoying the show.
Yes.
I'm going to take this time during this intermission to introduce myself as the visual artist and set designer, and talk about my background, because I don't want you to think that I just got the job because I'm married to the artistic director. And and then I'm also going to talk about the artwork and the inspiration for it, the composition, and the meaning of some of the work, along with a little bit more about the other sort of work that I do, all art related. So I'm a visual artist. I'm a professional visual artist. I do this as a living. It's something that my father wanted to be an artist, so he never became, and like Nietzsche said, what lies dormant in the father lives in the son. And it was very important to me from an early age. I had this vision that I was going to be an artist, but I didn't know what it was going to entail. I didn't know what it was going to be like, but I prepped myself through early life and school to be what is in front of you now. So I was born in Romania, and we emigrated to Canada when I was 8 years old. And I've lived in Canada most of my life. I went to a specialty art school called Canterbury Art School. It was ranked very high, like top 5 art schools in all of Canada, and that's in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And then I went to college because I wanted technical life drawing skills. And there was this wonderful program, an animation program, and it offered life drawing, like 3 times a week, 3 hours each session. And I thought, this is the closest that I'm going to get to a European sort of training. You know, what I always kind of grew up learning about the Impressionists and how they learned, kind of the French school really was my vision then. But before that, in high school, I actually started to do self-publishing, so which I'm going to come back to later. And then in university, I majored in creative writing, and I minored in studio art. And the reason for all that was because, you know, as a young man, I thought, at the end of high school, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be drawing comics. That's what I thought. That was the height of my ambition. And so when I saw that my life was kind of going more than I dreamed, farther than I dreamed, I decided to hone those skills. And I thought, if I'm going to write, I'm going to really learn how to write. And if I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to learn the rules before I can break them. So then I became professional, and in 2002 after school, I came back to Ottawa, and I said, I'm going to be an artist, and I quit a bunch of part-time jobs that I had, and then I struggled for about 4 years. I call that my silverback period, and I went into kind of an abstract phase, but then things kind of started to flourish, and I came out of it and I started to teach, and then later I had an art school. So I'm going to talk about my art, and then I'm going to come back to some of my accomplishments. So for this ballet, I was commissioned to do paintings that will fill the set design. And so there's 3 pieces. There's 2 acts, but 3 pieces. And it starts with the kind of the birth, you know. So I think, like a lot of people believe, that if you're an artist, you're born with it. And then that's why there's kind of symbols here that illustrate that. I tried to simplify these end pieces, knowing that they're going to be kind of a little bit closer to the audience. So I thought like you might observe a little bit more detail with these, and I wanted to simplify the ideas and the imagery so that it could be hopefully seen from that distance and appreciated for its subject matter. So this piece, which you'll see in the ballet, is more about the formative years. There's different paths, obviously, that can be taken, and then there's kind of a growth and a dance above with music. Okay, that's kind of like the simple aspect of it. Now these are fresh off the canvas, so sometimes pieces, you know, as an artist, you sit in front of them and you analyze them, and then you learn and you critique, and you know, and so those are some of the things that you probably would have observed initially. Technique-wise, I've used oil paint and brushes and even rollers. This centerpiece is more about like ballet in general. It features two of the prominent ballets in the world, which are the Nutcracker and Swan Lake. So I've used some of that imagery, and I've referenced some poses from videos and images. This piece in the center is a little bit looser than the end pieces for the reason that I mentioned earlier. I thought it was going to be backstage and a little, you know, more kind of dancey. You know, I didn't want to distract as much, but there's a lot going on in this piece as well, and I hope some of the imagery, like the swans, the white and the black swan, are evident. And the Nutcracker I try to make prominent because I thought it's kind of like the staple when it comes to ballet. So I thought that kind of has to be, you know, one of the first hallmarks of a dancer's life, you know, just to be in Nutcracker. And there's a lot of opportunities for that because there's a lot of young dancers that are in productions of Nutcracker. So the end piece here is kind of the end of her life as a dancer. And I thought of a term, and I think of it more like this sunset of her life. And I used blue as a background, partly because I thought like the way I would envision it, kind of your reclining years, there's a certain nostalgia about that. And then there's symbolism like the doves, because I feel like there would be a lot of freedom. I certainly hope there will be in my life. A certain amount of freedom. And then there's kind of like this sunset at the bottom. So those are some of the evident imagery, and the rest is really left to the observers to interpret, and especially with the dance, you know, because there's a lot going on with the dancing. Lastly, I want to thank you for your time. I would please encourage you to come to the boiler room at the Mandalay Bay for the after party, and I'd love to show some of my current work that is smaller scale and even more detailed and figurative, and discuss art and dance. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the show. The second act is coming right up.
How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And blindly down beside the glowing bars, murmur, a little sadly, how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars.